hungry at midnight, and there was nothing. But we did have a good time and spent a lot of time over there. And then, other than that, he's just a great guy. And it must have been 5 or 6 years, or maybe even longer later, we were over here doing work in Newport, and I told my brother, I was like, hey, we gotta look up Kaino, man. Dude, we're in Newport. This is Kaino's land, So we did, and we went over there, and his mom made us dinner, and it was just such a good time, and spent some time with him out in the shop, and all of his toys, and I don't know if how much anybody knows about the motorcycles around here, but the motorcycles that he has up front are nice. I mean, I got an eye, but not like that. That's just all the way down titanium bolt kits. It's just unreal. Those motorcycles are unreal. He could build a motorcycle. It's unreal. You don't see that often, and then yet he's got multiples, 5s and 6s and 7s. So yeah, and then unfortunately I wasn't able to come to his party this year, but last year I was able to make it, and I planned on coming over for the day and just driving home, and it got to be 10, and then it was 11 and 12, and I'm like, man, do you mind if I sleep on the couch? And so that was all good, and we watched he turned on motorcycle racing, and we watched and talked about old times and riders and everything there is about motorcycles, and I'll never forget it, and he was good to me, and I mean, that's, like I said, those are some of my favorite stories that I have with Kaino.
Hi everybody. Love you guys. So my name is Bella Sorensen. My husband and I have a charter boat, Miss Raven, out in Newport, Oregon. I flay the fish down there on the docks. So when I heard there was going to be a fundraiser done, Mike came in one day with a lousy catch. Doesn't happen very often, especially for my husband, but it does happen. So I told the customers, all right, since we didn't catch much fish today, I'll take donations for my son's nephew's scholarship fund. And I said, so just give me what you want. The first day out of 7 halibut, I raised $423. A couple days later, in comes a boat with some boat problems. They didn't have as many fish either. So I gave them the same opportunity. I had one family give me $300. But between the 2 days, I've already raised $1,035 for your guys' scholarship. I remember Kaino as a little boy running around at the Unger farm with no clothes on. That kid hated clothes when he was little. You couldn't keep clothes on him. I remember Tonette telling me one day, I don't know what he's going to do when he goes to school, Bella, because he hates wearing clothes. He's truly going to be missed. Your guys are a great family. I love you all. So sorry for your loss.
My name's Hallie, and this is Capricia, and she reminded me of a story a few weeks ago. Kaino was always quite older than us growing up, so we were the little ones of the family, always kind of getting tossed around. And so when we were hanging out at the Dixon house one time, he threw us in the back of his truck, which was not what Tonette would have wanted. She actually got very mad about it. Threw us in the back of his truck and drove us to Olala Lake so that he could go fishing. But we didn't have swimsuits, so he let us swim fully clothed took us to the tree that was still there when it had the steps up, and there was a bee's nest on it. And I actually ended up getting stung by a bee on my eyebrow. Came home and he slapped a Band-Aid on my eyebrow. Mom took it off when I got home, but yeah.
And one thing that I always remember, I was very young, was always spending time at my aunt's house. And he definitely knew how to terrorize me as well. He terrorized Callie, but he loved to pick on me, and he just got pure enjoyment out of it. And I'm glad I got to, almost like a brother, you know. I grew up with my family, and I'm just so thankful that I'm so thankful for all of my family, and I love you guys.
So a lot of you guys may or may not remember me. I met Kaino way back in 2002. My name is DJ. When I first met Kaino, I was at Sam Case Elementary in Newport, and we were out on the kickball field, and there was this tall, lanky kid, and he had this pigeon toe walk about him, and it was really interesting. And every time the ball came towards him, it was like this kid was trying to kick it and knock a satellite out of orbit, just going for it. Well, we started talking, and about 2-3 weeks later, he introduced me to his family. And after that, I started spending nearly every weekend out there with them, and this was shortly after my father had passed away. And we'd be out there riding our BMX bikes or dirt bikes or skateboards, just having a hoot of a time talking about who was going to be the next Jeremy McGrath, or, you know, dreaming for the stars. But that's who Kaino was. He never stayed in one place. He never held back from anything. He always went for it, and when he went for it, boy, that kid went big. But the one story that I do want to share is probably may or may not be the first kid to receive one of those many Easter baskets or Christmas presents. I was out at the Dixon's house, and Kaino was trying to talk his mom into letting me stay the night. And at first she was like, no, tomorrow's Easter, we're just going to take him home, I don't know exactly what he said to you, but shortly after Tonette came out of the house and she asked me, she was like, hey, what do you guys do for Easter? I was like, we don't celebrate it anymore. She's like, okay, well that's it, you're staying the night. So I stayed the night, and the next morning I woke up, and right there in front of me was an Easter basket of my very own. I don't know how you got everything to make that. I don't know what he said. But it was there. And then I spent the entire holiday with you guys. And at the end of the day, Kaino told me, you know, he was like, my family makes sure that our family don't go without celebrating. But thank you guys. It was really good to see you.
Hello. I know very few of you. I didn't grow up with Kaino. I actually only met him about 6 years ago. I have met very few people in my life who radiate love so well that every person that they meet believes themselves to be that person's best friend. I'm lucky enough to know a couple of them, and unfortunately, the last time I spoke at a funeral was for the other person that I knew. How many people feel like that? Kaino was an incredibly generous person. I just have a few things to kind of hammer off, and these are just beautiful examples because I didn't know him like so many people here know him, and like so many people here deserve to grieve for him. A couple of years ago, my husband and I were talking about having a vow renewal. We've been married for 6 years now. We never had a party. We had 12 people at our wedding. And I had finally felt like I was in a place where I had a community around me as an adult that I wanted to celebrate with them and include them in that celebration. Kaino was one of the first people to message me. I got this property out in Brownsville. I would love it if you guys would use it. I'm like, all right, what amenities are there? What's going on? No, just land. You'll have to figure the rest of it out. I'm like, okay, we'll work on it. We still haven't had the celebration. The second time that this is just his incredible generosity is made obvious to me is when him and Ryan had the shop over in Springfield, because my husband and I, Justin, we live in Eugene. So now they were central to us. And we would go over there, and Kaino would just bust out whatever. You know, if we needed stickers, if we needed graphics done, he was always offering to do them for us. Usually at very low cost, which I thought was a terrible business practice. But, you know, I'm going to take it when I can get it. Dirt bikes are really expensive. So anyways, that spot down there in Springfield, and he actually, I used to manage a motorcycle shop, and he would sponsor the team every year, and it was amazing. Okay, the ingenuity of this man to be able to work from a boat in the middle of the ocean. We would send him, people would send him graphics kit requests, and he'd be like, I'm out fishing. I'm like, well, where are you? Oh, I'm in Alaska. I'll be back in 2 weeks. And he would like do all the design out on the boat, and then he'd send it to his man on the land who would get them printed, and then someone would hand deliver them to me like 3 days later. Okay? That's insane. That's crazy. You don't get service like that in our industry. And the last little thing to say is, and I just saw Kaino at Washougal, like, a month and a half ago. And my husband and I looked at each other and we're like, man, we should really be spending more time with him. Because it was always so great to see him, just the smile, like, you run into each other. And it's kind of how it works in the circles you run in. And he's had so many friends. I mean, to be able to spend time with him for the amount of people that he spent time with, I feel like it was hard to nail him down. I posted something on Facebook a few years ago, and he commented on it. He just said, I miss you. And I was like, it's a gift. It's a gift to be missed by a man who is loved by so many people. And I think that we are all missing him too very much. So thank you. Thank you. It was a gift.
I'm not super good at this kind of thing, but I'm enjoying hearing stories about my buddy, so I'm just trying to keep this going. I'm hoping that people will come out and tell some stories. I know there's some wild ones. I didn't meet Kaino until I was already 21. We went to different schools, but he loved dirt bikes more than anyone. I love dirt bikes a lot, so that's saying something. So we were just, as soon as we met, we hit it off, and we were dirt bike buddies and everything that went with it. He was a few years younger than me, but he was just so naturally wise and level-headed that he was kind of my older brother in a lot of ways. And a lot of the things that I didn't know or didn't learn when I was younger, he always, I could ask him without being embarrassed, and he would show me how to do things the right way. And that meant a lot, and just someone like I always looked to. And obviously, all these stories, well, here he's just great with people and just naturally loved everyone. I don't think he got enough credit for how talented he was at fabricating and lumber, metal, or the dude could weld like do wood, metal, anything. I'd come up with some batshit idea and like his eyes would light up. He's like 5 steps ahead of me, like knows what to buy and everything. So he was my best friend, but he was everyone's best friend, and there's not a lot of people like that in this world. So I'm just honored that I got to spend the years I did with him and all the stories. I'm gonna keep forever. So I just want to keep this going. So thanks.
Well, I'm not sure if any of you guys know me other than a few of Kaino's friends. I'm from California, and him and Gert were down there riding a track called Paris, and we were parked next to each other, and they started talking to my dad, and we hit it off, and I think, 2 weeks later, we were headed to Texas. I was 15, and he just somehow talked my mom into letting him take me across the country. Rode dirt bikes, had a good time, and after that, he was like a brother that I never had. And we would talk several times a week, unless he was fishing, about all the bikes he was building. And then he came to California, and he talked me into packing a bag and coming up to Oregon with a bunch of his friends literally the next day. And I went to we stayed at a shop in Springfield and made graphics and ate biscuits and gravy and chicken wings from the 7-Eleven down the street. He got me like this little card to get rewards, and didn't shower for a week and just rode dirt bikes and bicycles and just had fun. And I don't know, he was always there for me when I needed to talk to him, and always made me graphics that made my bikes look the best in California. And he was just that guy that was just always there and had a crazy mind. But I'm so at a loss for words and don't really know what to say. So.
Well, I'm not really a good storyteller. I'm really shy around people. I'm sure a lot of people are, but Kaino and I were pretty good buddies, and we traveled all over. Traveled to SoCal, rode dirt bikes and raced, and trained down there with Gert and rode some BMX. And he's just one of the best, most genuine dudes I ever met. And the family's incredible. You guys were just are the best people. And I don't know, I just kind of like Ryan want to continue the stories. And the story gets a little off track. You can So everyone knows that Kaino partook, right? So we're on our way to Texas, and he was going to get something for his vinyl printer, whether it was a new printer or just materials or a class or something. I forgot what it was. We were going down to Texas with our dirt bikes, loaded in his big purple van with stickers all over it that said Oregon grown, So we're driving, we get to the California border, just heading into Arizona, and Kaino had a stash of marijuana, which he told me, he's like, yeah, I bring this, and I bring tuna. I like to barter. If people don't like weed, I'll give them fresh canned tuna. And that's how you barter, too. So we get to the Arizona border, and it's my 21st birthday, mind you, so I'm drinking in the passenger seat. We get to the border, and there's a border patrol stop. So we get there, and they instantly stop us, because a big purple van with green stickers on the sides, screaming, homegrown. They said, hey, the dog alerted to you. It's like, okay. Kaino rolls over, he goes, hey, you guys can search my van. I have I have weed in here. Please take it. They ended up taking it. It was about 2 hours of just sitting there wondering if we were getting arrested or not. And finally, he looks over at me, he's like, hey, I don't think we're getting arrested. I think we're getting out of this. And it ended up just being a slap on the wrist until something later happened. But when we left, I took a video of him, and I looked over, and I'm like, hey, what happened, Kaino? He's like, they took my weed. So we had to go to Texas and do the whole Texas trip without anything and nothing to barter with except tuna. On the way back, we blew out a tire, and then another hour later blew out the spare. Ended up stranded in the middle of New Mexico or something, and he still made that trip just like the funnest experience. And he was just a really great guy, and I'm really gonna miss him.
I'm Gabrielle McEntee. I'm one of Kaino's many cousins. And I have a story that came from my son Dixon. He can't be here because he's just not feeling well today. When he was, I don't remember how little, he spent the night with Callie and Dixon and Tonette and Kevin and Kaino. See, there we go. I know. And he had the most amazing time. Like, he talked about it for days and days afterwards. And his favorite part, when I told him that Kaino had passed away, and he hugged me for like the longest time, and I love that guy, and I was so sweet. And he's told me the story of how the next day after he spent this great night with his cousins, Kaino took him to town, and they had breakfast at the Pig and Pancake. And of course, Kaino let him have whatever, like, you want chocolate on your pancakes or whatever. And he just, Dixon was telling me that he just gave him his 100% attention. And what I'm hearing from everybody is how he connected to so many different people, no matter how old they were. And so he just gave him all that. And Dixon loved it. He said it was the best day. And then Kaino dropped him off at basketball practice or a game or something. But he remembered that. Yeah, he did. So sweet. Anyways, I love you guys.
Holy shit, there's a lot of people here. Wow. Can you hear me?
There's a mic.
I don't need no mic. Yeah, Kaino, what can you say? He was a stud. He was lanky. He taught me, Ryan, Andrew, taught me how to ride a dirt bike. I was the gooniest one out of everybody around here. Still are. It's because I can't let go. Someone's got to be the goon. I got hundreds of stories. 90% of them I barely remember. He was a legend. We're all sad, horny. Some a little drunk, some a little high. It is what it is, and Kaino will be the first one to say keep trucking. Keep going. Don't give up. I had a speech planned, and that went in the trash can as soon as I thought about it. Without him, I wouldn't know half of you guys. And I'm so thankful. I just want to put a big old yeet. And we brought Dylan down from Washington, and we took him in. And we said, "You can't go home. You're with us." And he's still here, still chilling. We're all. It might be sensitive, but we're all dead crew. We're all family. And I love all you guys. I might not know all of you, but you guys are all family. And thank you for showing up.
Yeah.
Wow, you're right. There are a lot of people. For the people that don't know me, my name's Mindy, and Tonette's ride or die forever. And we've navigated a lot of things through life, but this is one of the things I didn't think we'd have to navigate. One of my best memories of Kaino is actually the first day he took his first breath. I saw him be born. I saw and make these two the happiest ever. Kaino was around us a lot when he was younger. Our kids were only 7 months apart. They would think they were twins when they weren't. They weren't even related. In school, people wanted to know how they were cousins. Deb Clark came up to me once and was like, hey, how are Kaino and Lindsay cousins? And I'm like, well, they're not. But they are, because they say so. Because they didn't even know that we weren't related, because that's how they were raised. Losing Kaino's been really, really rough. He was definitely one of a kind. I definitely believe God broke that mold after that one. Plus, it was probably too tall to have anybody else receive it. But I love you guys so much. Callie, I can't wait for that baby. And I love Kaino forever. Thank you.
My name is Dory, for those who don't know me. So I recently went and got an oil change. I had never met Garrett. I didn't know anything about him. He was just some guy that was gonna change my oil. And I noticed on his arm, he has a tattoo of D.B. Cooper. And I said, you know, you're the second person that I know that has a tattoo of D.B. Cooper. And he says, well, what do you mean? Who was the other one? And I said, my very best friend's son, Kaino, has a tattoo of D.B. Cooper. Why, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, he wasn't sure either. He got it in Vegas, let's just put it that way. But Kaino thought that D.B. Cooper was brilliant. It just cracked me up. He was so proud of that D.B. Cooper. And so Gert was telling me that he was there in Vegas when Kaino got his tattoo. And in memory of Kaino, I'm not sure when you got that done, but
Like a week ago.
okay, it was in memory. But I just think it's freaking brilliant. You know what a way to honor Kaino by having a fugitive put on his arm. And it just goes to show the testimony of how many people Kaino touched. And I will say, the last couple of years, we all get together, us girls would get together and we'd go out, and my most favorite thing to do would be to go up into Kaino's room up above the garage as he's, you know, doing his graphics, and yeah, we were hammered. And he wasn't embarrassed, you know, because most of us get embarrassed when our parents are late. He embraced us, and we giggled and laughed and howled, and he was just such a cool cat. He just was amazing. But back to the tattoo, I just think that it's so Kaino. And I just love the fact that one of his very best friends is honoring him in that way.
I'll do what I can.
I didn't really know Kaino that well. We
We were more friends of friends, and our dads were really good friends. A few years ago, Callie already mentioned him building a bowl. And I live here, I've always lived here. It rains a lot. And that means if you skateboard, you're sitting around or getting out of town. And Kaino changed that for us. And it wasn't, he didn't know anyone anything. And he decided to do it because he wanted to see if he could. And he dove way in, went over the top. And I don't know, changed my life. And I don't know, I can't speak for other people, but it was awesome. So that's all I really wanted to say. It's a really awesome guy. So.
I was asked to give a closing prayer. You will join me in a prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, we're grateful for this opportunity that we've had to come together and to celebrate Kaino and enjoy these memories. And we ask a special blessing to be upon each of us as we are mending our hearts, and especially on Tana and Kevin and Callie and Kanan. And please help us to remember Kaino for who he was and the heart that he has. I pray that we will be able to let his legacy of loving live on in us, and that we will take the time to recognize those in need around us. Help us to be present and to focus on those people and give them our full attention and love them. We're grateful for Kaino and for his example and for the ways that he helped us to laugh and to enjoy life. And we say these things in the name of thy son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
So we're gonna start a slideshow that Paul, one of Kaino's really good friends, put together. It's gonna be playing on repeat, and there's a lot of people to eat and stuff. So if you guys want to go, some people want to start eating, and the slideshow will continue to play for a while. I don't know what's for lunch, but we'll start it now, and then you guys can kind of just come and go, and it'll keep playing.